52 years ago, a film exploded onto the screen and changed martial arts cinema forever. Enter the Dragon wasn't just a movie, it was a legend in motion, a gateway to Bruce Lee's unstoppable legacy. But what happened to its unforgettable cast? Who rose, who fell, and who disappeared into the shadows of time? Let's uncover the untold stories behind the warriors of this timeless classic. Jim Kelly as Williams, the cool rebel who fought with style. H was fast. He was fierce. He was cool as ice. When Jim Kelly stepped onto the screen as Williams, he didn't just fight. He owned every scene with an effortless swagger that turned heads and broke barriers. In a time when Hollywood offered few roles to black action heroes, Jim Kelly made history as one of the first African-American martial arts stars to shine on the global stage. His character, Williams, was bold, confident, and fearless, standing toe-to-toe with Bruce Lee and delivering some of the film's most iconic lines and fight moves. But who was the man behind the afro and the fists? Born in 1946, Jim Kelly was not only a martial artist, but also a professional tennis player. Before the big screen, he was a national karate champion and owned his own dojo. He didn't just act like a fighter, he lived it. His real-life skills made his on-screen battles feel raw, real, and revolutionary. After Enter the Dragon, Kelly starred in a string of blaxploitation martial arts hits like Black Belt Jones and Three the Hard Way, becoming a cult icon of the 70s. He didn't just punch through enemies, he punched through stereotypes. Sadly, Jim Kelly passed away from cancer on June 29, 2013, at the age of 67. But his legacy lives on in every roundhouse kick and every rebel spirit who dares to stand tall. He wasn't just Bruce Lee's ally. He was a trailblazer, a warrior, and one of the coolest fighters cinema ever gave us. Bruce Lee as Lee, the dragon who changed everything. He didn't just fight, he didn't just act. Bruce Lee was a force of nature, a living legend whose screen time in Enter the Dragon felt like lightning bottled into film. As Lee, the stoic martial artist sent to infiltrate Han's deadly island, he wasn't playing a role. He was the role. Every punch, every stare, every breath, pure intensity. But behind the cinematic power was a real man with a bigger mission, to break the mold, to smash barriers, and to show the world what martial arts truly meant. Born in 1940 in San Francisco and raised in Hong Kong, Bruce Lee grew up straddling two worlds, East and West. He battled racism, rejection, and typecasting in Hollywood, but refused to be sidelined. With his philosophy of using no way as way, he created Jeet Kune Do, a revolutionary approach to martial arts based on fluidity and freedom. Enter the Dragon was his triumph. It wasn't just the first Hollywood-Hong Kong co-production. It was Bruce Lee's global explosion. He wasn't just a fighter, he was a thinker, a philosopher, a storyteller. And when he took on Han's underground empire, it felt like more than a mission. It was a metaphor for breaking the system. But just 6 days before the film's release, Bruce Lee was gone. July 20th, 1973, he died from cerebral edema. He was only 32 years old. Gone too soon, but never forgotten. His legacy ignited a global martial arts movement, inspired generations of action stars, and shattered the limits of what Asian actors could be. Bruce Lee didn't enter the dragon. He was the dragon. Betty Chung as Mei Ling, the spy who sang with style. She wasn't there to fight. She was there to infiltrate, with brains, beauty, and nerves of steel. Betty Chung, in the role of Mei Ling, played the undercover agent who risked everything to bring down Han's criminal empire from the inside. While Bruce Lee brought the fists and fury, Mei Ling brought the calm, the calculation, and the courage. Behind that elegant exterior was a woman who had to navigate a deadly world of deception and still walk away alive. Off-screen, Betty Chung was already a star. Born in 1947, She rose to fame as a pop singer in the 1960s and 70s, captivating audiences in Hong Kong and beyond. Her transition into acting brought a new level of grace to martial arts films, and in Enter the Dragon, she held her own alongside giants. Though her role was brief, it was unforgettable. She was the eyes and ears on the inside. She proved that in a world of brute strength, intelligence is the sharpest weapon. Today, Betty Chung is 76 years old, and though she stepped away from the spotlight, her legacy in Hong Kong's golden age of cinema still shines. And hey, who said undercover agents can't also be pop stars? But while Mei Ling used stealth, the next warrior went out in a blaze of defiance. Get ready for Angela Mao as Su Lin, and bring some tissues. This one hurts. If you like this video, please leave a 1 in the comments. If not, leave a 0. I really appreciate your honesty. Angela Mao as Su Lin, the sister who chose death over dishonor. She didn't say much, but her silence screamed louder than words. As Su Lin, the younger sister of Bruce Lee's character, Angela Mao delivered one of the most haunting moments in Enter the Dragon. Trapped, cornered, and faced with an unthinkable fate, Su Lin made the ultimate choice: death before dishonor. It was brief, it was brutal, and it was unforgettable. Angela Mao, often dubbed the Lady Bruce Lee, was no stranger to high-stakes action. Born in 1952 in Taiwan, she trained in Peking opera and martial arts, blending grace with ferocity. In the 1970s, she broke through as one of the few female martial arts stars who didn't need saving. She did the saving. In Enter the Dragon, her role may have been small in screen time, but massive in impact. Her death didn't just fuel Lee's revenge, it exposed the vile underworld Han controlled and the cost of standing alone against it. After a legendary run in martial arts cinema, Angela stepped away from the screen to focus on family life. Now 70 years old, she runs a restaurant in New York City, far from the brutal battlegrounds of 1970s cinema, but still a warrior at heart. Who says heroes always live to see the end? Sometimes it's the ones who fall first who burn the brightest. Think Su Lin's sacrifice was the most tragic moment in the film? John Saxon as Roper, the smooth gambler who fought for redemption. He was the charming rogue of Enter the Dragon, a man with a gambling addiction, smooth moves, and a deadly right hook. John Saxon, in the role of Roper, was more than just a sidekick. He brought wit, swagger, and unexpected depth to Bruce Lee's groundbreaking martial arts epic. But behind the silver screen, Saxon's real-life journey was just as action-packed. Born in Brooklyn in 1936, John Saxon became a household name long before Enter the Dragon. With a striking look and tough guy aura, he starred in everything from westerns to horror to hard-hitting crime dramas. Yet it was his role in Bruce Lee's magnum opus that immortalized him in martial arts history. Roper, the compulsive gambler with charm and a conscience, gave audiences a Western hero navigating an Eastern world of deadly secrets. Saxon, who had no formal martial arts training before the film, threw himself into the action and held his own alongside legends. Over his 60-year career, he appeared in over 200 films and TV shows, including A Nightmare on Elm Street and From Dusk Till Dawn. But it was his chemistry with Bruce Lee and Jim Kelly that etched him into pop culture. Sadly, John Saxon passed away on July 25, 2020, due to pneumonia. He was 83 years old. From Hollywood heartthrob to martial arts movie icon, Saxon's legacy lives on, especially in that unforgettable tournament on Han's deadly island. Robert Wall as O'Hara, the brutal enforcer who met the dragon's wrath. Every hero needs a villain to hate, and in Enter the Dragon, that villain wasn't just Han. It was O'Hara, the sadistic enforcer with cold eyes, a ruthless punch, and absolutely no mercy. Played by Robert Wall, O'Hara wasn't just another henchman. He was the trigger that unleashed Bruce Lee's most legendary on-screen fury. When O'Hara cornered and assaulted Su Lin, he crossed a line no one should. And when he faced Lee in the tournament, he wasn't just in a fight, he was in a reckoning. Robert Wall in real life wasn't far from the character he played, minus the cruelty. A black belt in multiple martial arts and a close friend of Bruce Lee, Wall was a true warrior. He helped shape the image of martial arts cinema in the West and was respected by legends like Chuck Norris, Joe Louis, and Gene LaBelle. Born in 1939, Wall was a heavyweight champion in karate and co-founded the famous West Coast Dojo Sherman Oaks Karate Studio. Off-camera, he was known for his discipline, humility, and lifelong dedication to the martial arts. But on screen, he was terrifying. In Enter the Dragon, O'Hara is the face of brutality, smashing boards, intimidating opponents, and pushing every moral boundary. But Bruce Lee's Lee made sure that evil didn't go unpunished. Their fight scene, fueled by real-life respect and cinematic perfection, ends with one of the most satisfying takedowns in film history. Wall went on to appear in other martial arts films, but Enter the Dragon remained his most iconic. He passed away on January 31st, 2022, at the age of 82. He played the man everyone hated, and played him perfectly. Was O'Hara the most despicable villain in martial arts cinema? Or was he just the mirror showing how far rage can go when left unchecked? Either way, you haven't met true evil until you meet Han. And yes, he's up next. Shi Qian as Han, the mastermind with the claw of death. Forget your average bad guy. Han wasn't just a villain. He was a nightmare in human form. With a steel claw for a hand, a private island turned death trap, and a voice as calm as it was chilling, Han was the puppet master behind Enter the Dragon's twisted tournament. And the man who brought him to life? Shi Qian, a legend of Chinese cinema. Cold, calculating, charismatic. Han was the kind of villain who didn't need to shout. He ruled with silence, controlled with fear, and killed without blinking. Whether he was watching fighters destroy each other in his underground arena or lecturing about order and discipline, there was always something unhinged behind that calm exterior. Shi Qian wasn't new to evil roles. In fact, he was famous in Hong Kong long before Bruce Lee exploded onto the international scene. Born in 1913, he had a long career playing villains in martial arts films, especially in the wuxia genre. His trademark? That sinister sneer and a presence that made audiences uncomfortable, in the best way possible. In Enter the Dragon, Han wasn't just a drug lord or arms dealer. He represented corruption at its most seductive. He lured fighters to his island with promises of honor and glory, only to feed them into a system of exploitation and death. And when he faced off against Lee in the legendary Mirror Room, it was a battle of philosophies, order versus freedom, control versus chaos. Shi Qian passed away on June 3, 2009, at the age of 96. A long life for a man who gave the world one of its most unforgettable villains. Some say Darth Vader walked so Han could crawl in silence. Others say Han is still the gold standard for martial arts movie evil. But tell me this, do you think Han deserved a more painful end, or did that claw get off easy? Either way, next up is the woman behind the shadows. Anna Capri as Tanya, and trust me, she knew everything. Anna Capri as Tanya, the woman behind the curtain. She wasn't throwing punches or entering the tournament, but make no mistake, Tanya was always in the middle of the danger. Played by the stunning Anna Capri, she was Han's right hand, hostess, seductress, and perhaps the only one who truly understood how deep the rabbit hole went. Tanya wasn't loud. She didn't have to be. One look, one whisper, one carefully chosen word, and the game changed. Anna Capri brought a unique blend of elegance and mystery to the role. Born in 1944, she was already a seasoned actress in film and television when Enter the Dragon came knocking. With her piercing eyes and magnetic screen presence, she gave Tanya something few female characters in 70s action films had: quiet power. She arranged the fighter's arrival, smoothed over Han's chaos, and floated through the palace like a ghost no one dared question. But beneath that controlled exterior, was Tanya complicit or trapped? That's the question fans have debated for decades. Was she in love with the power Han offered, or silently praying for the entire empire to fall? Sadly, Anna Capri's story ended far too soon. On August 19, 2010, she died from injuries sustained in a tragic car accident. She was just 66 years old. Gone too young, but forever remembered as the icy beauty in the lion's den. A woman surrounded by monsters, who may have been one herself, or maybe the only one who still had a soul. She never picked a side, or maybe she already had. So, was Tanya the silent puppet master or a prisoner in silk? And speaking of powerhouses, it's time we talk about the man who turned muscle into menace, Bolo Yeung as Bolo. Get ready, because this guy does not play. Bolo Yeung as Bolo, the muscle that broke necks and rules. He didn't speak much, but when Bolo stepped into the ring, everyone shut up. Towering, ripped, and radiating menace, Bolo was Han's personal enforcer and the human equivalent of a wrecking ball. Played by Bolo Yeung, he wasn't just muscle. He was fear incarnate. In Enter the Dragon, Bolo didn't fight. He crushed. He snapped bones like twigs, stared down warriors twice his size, and smiled while doing it. He was the embodiment of brute strength, loyal only to Han, and seemingly unstoppable until the tide turned. But off-screen, Bolo Yeung was as disciplined as he was deadly. Born in 1946 in Guangzhou, China, Bolo started as a competitive bodybuilder, winning Mr. Hong Kong multiple times. His chiseled frame and natural charisma got him noticed by filmmakers, and soon he was starring in kung fu flicks, not as the hero, but as the wall every hero had to break through. After Enter the Dragon, Bolo's career skyrocketed. He became an icon in the martial arts world, famously reuniting with Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport and Double Impact. His signature glare? Unforgettable. His flex? Iconic. Now in his late 79, Bolo still trains, still inspires, and still looks like he could break you in half with a bear hug. He's proof that strength is timeless, and villains, when done right, live forever. Was Bolo the scariest man on the island, or just the most loyal dog in a cruel master's cage? Either way, next up is a surprising face you might have missed in the chaos. Yes, Jackie Chan was there, and what he did might shock you. Jackie Chan as Han's henchman, the future legend hidden in plain sight. Blink and you might miss him. But yes, Jackie Chan was there. In Enter the Dragon, buried beneath the chaos, fists, and flying kicks, a young stuntman with lightning-fast reflexes took a brutal hit from Bruce Lee himself. That nameless henchman? That was Jackie. And it was just the beginning. Before the fame, before the franchises, and long before Rush Hour made him a household name, Jackie Chan was a hungry, hard-working stuntman in Hong Kong cinema, doing whatever it took to get noticed, even if that meant letting Bruce Lee grab him by the hair and snap his neck on screen. Born in 1954, Jackie was trained from childhood at the China Drama Academy, enduring punishing routines that forged his unmatched acrobatic skill. He idolized Bruce Lee, and Enter the Dragon gave him the surreal chance to not only meet his hero, but take a punch from him on camera. That split-second scene became a legend in itself, part of Jackie's origin story. And from there, his career didn't climb. It exploded. He flipped the martial arts genre on its head, blending comedy, danger, and jaw-dropping stunts into a signature style that no one has replicated since. Now, with over 200 films to his name, Jackie Chan is one of the most recognized and beloved action stars in the world. But back in 1973, He was just a shadow in the crowd, proof that even legends start somewhere. So did Bruce Lee pass the torch in that one brutal punch, or was Jackie always destined to create a legacy of his own? Sammo Hung as Shaolin fighter, the first strike of a future legend. Before Bruce Lee speaks a word in Enter the Dragon, the film opens with raw silence and a fight. One that's elegant, brutal, and unforgettable. His opponent, a Shaolin warrior with surprising speed and power, played by a then unknown Sammo Hung. No lines, no backstory, just impact. And that's all it took. Born in 1952, Sammo trained alongside Jackie Chan in the Peking opera tradition. But while Jackie leaned into speed and comedy, Sammo brought something different: weight, force, and unexpected agility. In that brief opening fight, he didn't just stand toe-to-toe with Bruce Lee, he earned his respect. Their chemistry was real. Bruce admired Sammo's skill, and that fight wasn't just a stylish opener, it was a tribute to real martial arts mastery. After Enter the Dragon, Sammo's career exploded. He became a director, choreographer, and action star, shaping martial arts cinema for decades. From gritty street fights to supernatural epics, Sammo proved that talent beats typecasting every time. Today, in his 73, he's a legend, one of the last living titans of the golden era, all from a scene that lasted just minutes. So, was Sammo Hung the quiet giant of Enter the Dragon? Or did he spark something even bigger in that first deadly dance? Now tell me, who's your favorite warrior of Hans Island?